Ladies and gentlemen, nerds and neckbeards, welcome to another edition of Westeros
Wheneverly.
Hey. Tana.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Tana. How you doing?
What are we talking about in today's episode?
Today, we are going to talk about the next episode in the season.
What are we up to?
3.
What is it called?
The Queen's Justice.
The Queen's Justice.
Now, the question I have for you, and maybe we'll get into it in a little bit. No, Kitty.
No, this is not for you. It's not for you, dire kitty.
The question is...
Yeah, lay it on me.
Is it the Queen of Thorns that got the justice?
There are so many
in the
queens.
End of this?
There's so many queens
but
in this.
Before we get into that, Tana, tell us what we're drinking.
Oh my God, I'm very excited about this drink tonight. So what we have, Dave, being very on point, since you just saw the episode and I just saw the episode, is a fine Dornish Red.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're going to be drinking a red wine tonight. Okay.
Gulp.
Yep, this is one of my personal faves.
Is it dry?
It is, cheers.
Is it a sweet arbor red?
You can take a little taster sip right now before must drink. Oh, there is a full-bodied feeling,
God, here we go again.
a velvety mouthfeel.
Hipster descriptions here.
I love this version, this Dornish Red. I love it.
Actually, this was quite tasty.
Right?
It's good. I like it. Yeah.
It has a nice, it finishes nice and smoothly. Almost there's a silky finish to it.
I just hope I don't get wine drunk, because usually when I get wine drunk, I cry.
Oh, well, a lot of death happened, so we might end up a little emotional. We could cry about this episode, Dave. It's cry-worthy, but we're not just drinking a Dornish Red.
We're not?
No. In honor of Olenna Tyrell and the justice she brought to Jaime, I thought what we need to do, my friend, is drink poisoned Dornish wine.
Okay, so...
Wait,
you poured this already for me. Does that mean I'm going to die?
No, because over here...
Did you put X-Lax in mine or something?
So right behind us,
ladies and gentlemen, if for some reason in the middle of the show, you just hear a mic drop and
you're
some
gonna die.
Shitting in the back
One
corner.
of us is going to die here. So it occurred to me that, so you remember when Jaime takes his little stopper, he's talking to Olenna about all the ways that Cersei was thinking of torturing her to death and killing her. And he finally lands on... Poison, and he unstoppers the poison and he pours it in, and it's just this little shot full of clear liquid, right? Mm-hmm. So I had the thought, since we have our drinking podcast, that we need to do a blind selection. You've got a 50-50 chance of not being poisoned. Please look behind you on the table, and I have placed
2 shot glasses
filled with
clear liquid.
And one of those liquids is water.
See?
And the other liquid is white tequila. Tequila Blanco, baby.
So here's what I'm thinking. I think, because since you walked out of the room to do this, I think you poured the water into the sink and filled both shot glasses up with tequila.
This is the iocane powder test. I can clearly not choose the glass in front of me.
Clearly, you would have thought about that, because you are a smart man, and therefore you would have thought that I would not choose the glass in front of me, so I would chose this glass in front of you. But, okay, so...
I wish I had a sound clip of that. Thinking ahead, that would have been this would have been a perfect moment.
We're one-take wonders. We don't think ahead.
Yeah.
So, but I think you actually just filled both glasses up with tequila.
It's possible. So, here's the rules, though. Okay. So, both of us, cheers, all men must drink. This is our last non-poison sip. So, one person...
We have to pour it into our wine?
Yep. So one person is going to have slightly watered down wine.
Maybe.
And one person is going to have disgusting tequila wine and will retch from it. And probably will burble out whatever secret horrors you have to confess. Or what I have to confess. If I've killed any of your children with poison, I'll let you know.
Just to let you know... Wine drunk plus tequila drunk might actually bring out the skeletons in the closet.
This is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. So, last sip.
Last sip on poison.
Yep. To friendship, must drink. Although probably a real friend wouldn't try to poison you. All right, David.
Fuck.
Oh, and our shot glasses, which you selected. Yep. And I don't actually know which is which. I mixed them up on the counter.
Sure you did.
Yeah. So I poured water in one. I poured tequila in the other. I mixed them up. I don't know which is which, but they are Game of Thrones shot glasses, and you picked them. They are the Stark of Winterfell and the Targaryen dragon.
That's right.
Three-headed dragon. So who are you going with, Dave?
Well,
and final rule, since it's tequila, right, you have to keep it far enough away from you that you can't smell which one's water and which one's tequila.
Okay. So I'll make the decision before you even get close.
Yes, because the tequila is quite...
potent.
Yeah, there's a smell. So I don't even know. You'd be able to tell if you did them one at a time, but sitting next to each other, you might not be able to.
Okay, so I think you would have thought that I would pick the Stark.
Yeah.
And so I clearly cannot choose the Stark.
The Stark in front of me.
The Stark in front of me. However, you're smart enough to know that I would know that you would poison the Stark, so maybe you poisoned the Targaryen, thinking that I would choose the Targaryen, since you know I kind of like the Stark family.
Yeah.
So clearly, I can't choose the Targaryen in front of you. However, that being said, I am a firm believer in the fact that I think you poisoned both of us regardless. So I'm going with this one right here.
The one closest to you?
The Targaryen one.
All right. And then arm out, and then we can't know.
Oh, we can't? We have to pour it in?
No, we have to pour it in and then drink it, each of us. Oh, I'm going to spill.
Don't spill.
Here we go.
Ready?
1,
2, 3.
Oh. Oh, no.
Uh-oh, did you...
Oh, that's disgusting.
Now we're about to find out. We're about to find out if she poisoned 2 people or if mine is just watered down. Here we go.
Oh.
Wow. You're a woman of your word.
I am. Oh, this is awful.
Let me try it. Let me just try it. Oh God.
It's bad. You gotta take a sip. Oh, that's bad. All right, let's see. What have I ever done to you?
Oh my God.
I need you to tell. I was certain you would pick. This whole day, at no point was I like, I'm going to be the one drinking the tequila. God. I was like, Dave is definitely going to pick. I don't know which one it'll be, but Dave will definitely pick whichever one it is. It won't be me.
That was terrible. I am.
Oh, that's rough.
I am pleasantly.
This is a terrible idea.
I am pleasantly surprised that you didn't poison both.
I'm now disappointed that I didn't poison both. All men must drink.
And 2, I am very happy that I don't have to drink that for the rest of the night.
Oh, this is rough. Oh, whew.
Oh God.
Oh God. It's
just
like, you know what?
One sip I had.
You know what it is? It's the Strangler. This one, there's no painlessness about this, Olena.
No.
This is straight up.
So. Let's skip right to that scene.
Let's go right to the end scene.
It was just awesome.
I couldn't remember when I went to rewatch it with Kirsten. She was so cute. She wanted to rewatch it with me. We were away on Sunday from each other.
Aww.
And it was so cute. And she was like, baby, do you want to watch Game of Thrones with me? And I was like, yeah, I have to take notes. So I ended up pausing it every 5 seconds. And she was like, you're the worst person to watch things with.
Did you guys actually watch?
We
though?
did.
You didn't like,
as soon as I was pausing it every 5 seconds.
And chill.
We did not. Since it was clear that I was going to stop it every 5 seconds, she decided to book a bunch of plane tickets online and do some online shopping. And so it became like any other night that we watch TV. So anyway, I was like, when does that Olenna scene happen?
Yeah.
And it happens right at the end.
It's right at the end,
It's the final scene, which is,
we're going to skip to that because I think, me personally, I think the title is named for it.
Have another sip.
No, I'm not having another sip. It's not happening. No.
It's so bad. Oh, it's so bad.
I'm sorry. That's... I mean, if it was...
I feel like I'm being poisoned by Cersei as well. This is all of the poisons in one place.
I feel like if we had used the Patron, the Cafe Incendio Patron that's in my freezer, it would have been a lot better.
But it's
not
it's
clear.
Dark. It had to be the same color as water so that we could do the, pick your poison.
Or we could have just poisoned... We could have poisoned the wines and then... Mix some wine first.
Oh man, we're gonna go off the rails pretty quick. I think, at least I am. So forgive me. Oh, and that's one other thing that I always think of when I ever. Oh wow, it's happening fast.
Yeah, that's
I
nasty.
say, certain scenes don't happen on camera when I'm talking about the books. This is something I've noticed that I do in our podcast.
Yeah.
And it gets confusing during show season because it doesn't happen in my mind when I'm picturing the story from the words I'm reading. So, the scene I read, where Grey Wind gets murdered and then, this unreliable narrator tells us about it, I say, we never see it happen on screen.
Right.
And that gets really confusing because we're watching a TV show now and there is a literal screen.
But it's also true. You never see that scene on screen.
Anyway, so tangenting aside.
Yes.
What did you think?
Tanagenting.
Tanagent.
A tangent.
A tangent.
We did it.
Oh, that's our word of the day.
Drink.
All men must drink. That's our Westeros Wheneverly word of the day. When you get so loopy. I love it. Ding.
Bing. Word of the day is ready.
When you get
tangent.
Delightfully drunk and can't keep focused.
Can't keep on the same track.
Yes.
You go on a tangent. What's the country of origin? Planetos.
Yes, I love it. First person to use it in a sentence wins Westeros Wheneverly swag. Okay.
Okay,
the Olenna scene.
The Olenna scene
stole the show.
I 100% agree. Not agree. I made the statement earlier. I think the show, The Queen's Justice, was named for that scene. Yeah. She's the Queen of Thorns, and she is fucking brutal. Oh my God, she's spitting fire like she just blew a demon. Thank you, Bo Burnham, for that lyric. But it's fucking crazy. She's. Jamie and Cersei, when did they become battle tactician masters? Because
they needed to do something because they looked like they had nothing going on at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but so do you think that was all Tarly's doing? You think Tarly was like, look, you're gonna lose Casterly Rock, fuck it, let's just go march on Highgarden.
They don't suggest that in the show.
Well, he's sitting there on the horseback next to Bronn and Jaime when they're Dickon or whatever his name is.
Dickon. Who can remember that kid?
Rickon like a ding dong. Wobble up a lib dub.
We can credit it to him as our own personal headcanon.
I think it's definitely. I think he did it. I think he is the mastermind behind that.
Because Jaime is like, I love that place, but I'm the only one that loves it. Also, spoiler: Casterly Rock's out of cash.
Yeah.
Man. What? I never even considered that they'd be out of money, and it makes sense. I wonder if that's going to show up in the books.
I think it has to.
It has to.
It makes so much sense. They're spending so much money on this war, and everybody is like, yep, we're going to pay you, we're going to pay you, we're going to pay you. They assume
that the Lannisters have so much money, but I bet that they are impoverished, and Tywin knew. Yep. Oh, I hope that's so true.
Yeah. So the reason, so they go in, they take who's the next wealthiest house is Highgarden, and their coppers or coifers or whatever they're calling them are apparently full. Yeah. And so of course they take Highgarden.
They have grain, they have wine, they have poison. Yeah, apparently.
So they take Highgarden, and there's this great scene at the end of the show where Jaime is sitting or standing next to Olenna, and they're talking, right? And they're like, Elena's like, well, I know this is the end of the line for me, blah blah blah. And like you said before, Jaime's going through all the ways that he could kill her. Yep. There's a hanging. I think there's a flaying. There's a drink up, girl. There's
dragging her through the city and shame clang.
Right.
Yeah, totally grotesque stuff we know Cersei is capable of. Yeah. And finally they land on. He pours the red wine. Now for them, the red wines, the red winds are in their the Reach. It's part of part of the Reachmen, and so. The reason I wanted to use our Dornish Red for our own poison tonight is because of the comeuppance for this scene. Okay. Because she would be drinking not only poison, but the wine of their sworn enemies. Yep. So, in real life, this is called our collection by Raymond, lot number 1, Cabernet Sauvignon, 2015 from California. I got it from Costco. It's one of my faves. It's like $8, but it drinks like a $25 bottle of wine. It's delicious. Again,
says the sommelier who then poured a shot of tequila in her wine.
And I'm not even gonna dump it out. This is not a video show, right? The honor system. I need to drink this poison.
Fuck
it is
yeah,
a poison of my own making, Dave.
Yeah.
Ugh, I really thought it was going to be you. And I was already looking forward to hearing you complain about it all night. The entire night.
Well, you know what? I have to be fair. The tides have turned. You are a show lover now. And therefore, you now get to complain the entire time about a drink.
Everything is topsy-turvy.
The roles have been reversed.
One of my favorite lines was when Jaime says to Olenna in this scene, Casterly Rock isn't worth much anymore.
Yeah.
Its larders are empty, which means it has no food. They sent off the garrison. And this is when Olenna says, why didn't Tywin take Highgarden the moment your gold mines ran dry? My jaw hit the floor. Like, my jaw hit the floor and rolled away, and I had to go gather it up and put it back. Like, that was so shocking to me. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then she says, I suppose I shall get to ask him soon in the afterlife.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, is it going to be that sword? That one, that's Joffrey's, isn't it? Widow's Wail?
Well, no, she goes, what did he call it? And he goes, he named it Widow's Wail. like
and she goes, Joff really was a cunt. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. This woman is on fire.
Oh my God. Yep. He really was a cunt.
Oh, it's so good. It is such a good scene. This show has given me some serious good scene vibes.
She goes, is it painless? Is it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, and she just grabs it and drinks the whole damn thing.
And he's like, no, it's not gonna hurt. It'll be, it'll be a soft death. It'll be sweet death. And she's just like,
she drinks the whole
glug,
thing.
glug, 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 baby.
And then
she's like even tipping up her own glass just to make sure. Like, she does it really quick too.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that's because she's a great actress, and she wants that character to not lose her nerve, right? Like, she's not begging for her life. She's not trying to like knock over the glass or something. She knows this is the end of the road for her.
Yep.
Also, for those of you that have the World Book, go to the chapter on Aegon's conquest of Dorne, and there's an image of Aegon's sister, Rhaella, I think. God, why can I never remember her name? Talking to this froggy old matriarch in Dorne. But the windows, the lighting, the table, it's all very similar. And I wonder if the showrunners or the set designers use that as any kind of a reference, because there was, in the book canon, there is a visual, an authorized visual of a scene like this. And so anyway, it's it's interesting if you guys are interested in that little stuff.
But I think the most revealing part of the whole scene is when after she drinks everything, she basically says, not like Joffrey's death, and I'm glad I poisoned him, or something along those lines.
Yeah, and she was like, it was painful. I'd never poisoned anyone with that before. It was my first time with that poison. Also, Jaime's face goes through, like, he does a lot of subtle acting. Yes. I love that guy's snaggletooth, his bottom tooth that kind of sticks out like a tiger tooth. I love it. But, like, his eyes get a little wide, and then he's, like, horrified, but he does all this very subtle acting. It's all in the, like, small lines of his face. I really, really liked it.
She calls Cersei a disease.
Yeah, a monster.
A monster and a disease. And I think
she's a monster,
And when she finally admits to killing Tyrion, killing Joffrey, that it wasn't Tyrion, I think that really resonates.
I forgot.
With
because
Jaime.
he thinks Tyrion actually killed him.
He thinks Tyrion actually killed him because
Tyrion says so.
Because Cersei says she did it. He did it. Cersei convinces Tywin that Tyrion did it. Yep. And then, of course, Tyrion makes a comment, when he's being freed, basically like, oh.
So he was like, whatever. I did do it, because he finds out that Jaime was teaching him a sharp lesson with his father, that Tywin, when he married. Right. But it was actually a woman, a little crofter or whatever, his first wife, that loved him and was in love with him. And so Tywin, since they got married in secret, wanted to teach him a sharp lesson and had his entire barracks rape her, finishing with Tyrion raping his wife, convincing him that she was a whore paid by Jaime, and Jaime was complicit in it. And Jaime said, dude, that was just Dad. He lied. I didn't have any idea that was going to happen, but she really loved you. And so Tyrion is just
furious.
Yeah, his heart's been ripped out. He's like, this is monstrous. And so he says, yeah, I fucking killed your kid.
Yep.
But it's a lie. We know it's a lie.
Yep. Yeah.
And so Olenna confesses and is like, oh, the suffocation and the pain clawing his throat. Yep. And it was so painful, and I had never poisoned anyone with that before.
I think this is a great scene because I think this is the beginning of where we see show Jaime start to transition into book Jaime.
He has to at some point.
Where he kind of pushes away, and maybe this is where the Valonqar prophecy really starts to stem and fester, right? Jaime's got to go back to Cersei and be like, Tyrion didn't poison our son.
Yep.
And her reaction is going to go crazy. And I think he's already starting to be like, oh shit, she's a disease. She infected.
She's a monster.
Tyrion. She infected Tywin.
Speaking of, let's jump from here to the sex scene. Right? Like she fucks him and then like opens the door to a servant. Now in the books, Jaime's like, let's just be honest about our love. I love you. Let's be together. And Queen Cersei is not having it at all. She would never let their incestuous love be known. Number one, because if that got out, their children would be killed.
Yep.
Because incest babies, number one, but number two, you're trying to pass them off as trueborn sons
of Baratheon,
of the king. Their throne comes through their dad. And if their dad turns out to be you, you're killing your whole family, Jaime. That's very short-sighted of you.
Yep.
But book Cersei would never do this, and I think that's part of why I'm really enjoying the show, because I get to see these characters I love doing new things and sort of crazy, wacky things that they would never do in the books. And I love it. And then you get these little, like, what was the line? Why didn't he take Highgarden the moment your gold mines ran dry? I suppose I shall get to ask him soon. Like that, I get bombshells like that. And it, sends me off on this, like, oh my God, what if? That I had never considered before. So I really am still loving the show.
There was something odd about that servant. Right? Like the way...
She had the same short hair as Cersei. She looked like a homo. I was like, hey, sister, what's up?
That's my kind of girl.
Yeah, I was like, hey, girl, hey.
Is that like the symbol? Is the short hair like the lesbian like symbol?
I mean,
is like...
there used to be a whole website devoted to lesbians that look like Justin Bieber.
Oh my
because
God.
like the swoop was a thing for a while. And so in the lesbian community, you guys might not know this, constantly we would be like, is that a prepubescent boy or an adult lesbian? Is that a 12-year-old on a bike or a hipster, like 30-year-old lesbian? What is it? So short hair on ladies. It's
lesbians that look like Justin Bieber.
I don't know if the website's still up, but you can Google that. And
my God.
I have friends on that website. Like it was a thing for a long time.
Wow.
Like the Justin Bieber look was the lesbian look at the same time in history.
Wow.
All men must drink this poison. It's giving me the sweats, dude. Like I feel like I'm breaking out. I don't know. I feel like I've got beads of sweat, and this is bad. This is this is rough.
It's really nice not having to be drinking tequila wine. It is gross. It really was gross. So Tana, what else happened in the show? What?
You're going to have to take it.
I'm going to have to take it. Oh, man. Let's talk about Jon Snow finally meeting Daenerys. One of the greatest scenes, I think, and I think it should win an Emmy, personally.
All right.
The Battle of the Bastard. If
Let
you need
me
some
know.
water, here's some water.
It's
nice water.
It's in the back of the throat there.
So, Daenerys walks in, or not Daenerys walks in, Jon is being introduced to Dany, and Missandei is like, this is Daenerys Stormborn, breaker of chains, House of the Undying. Do you have the whole thing written out?
I do. I have the whole thing. So we've got... First of all, have you seen the meme that was like they go to Starbucks?
Starbucks, yeah.
And so it's two Starbucks cups, and one just says Jon Snow, and the other one says Daenerys Targaryen, last scion of House Targaryen. Where is it? The true queen of the Seven Kingdoms, mother of dragons, the unburnt, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, breaker of chains. Last scion of House Targaryen, and the other one's just like Davos is like, this is Jon Snow.
He's king in the north.
I wanted to make an audio clip of that, but my dogs were barking. So usually I make my audio clips like in my office, and it's a little quieter or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, I just couldn't get all the sound down. But so we've got, this is the money shot, man.
Yeah.
The Jon and Dany meeting scene. This has been the build up forever. First of all, before we get into the details, what did you think of it? Having seen the scene, and walk away from it, what, satisfied, unsatisfied, happy, sad?
I think it went better than I expected.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we knew going into this that Dany is not gonna kill Jon.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna be this like
immediately burn him with the dragon.
Right, yeah. We knew that some shit was going to go down. And we knew that, at least going into it, I kind of knew that both of them were not going to just give in, right? For a second, though, I really thought Jon would just bend the knee.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's interesting that he doesn't. This is one of the things where it would never happen like this in the books, but it's the show. So, like, of course, I'm just, like, happily, going along with the show.
You think Jon would bend the knee? He'd be like, yeah,
I don't think that the terms under which they meet would ever happen in the books. So, like, he's never showing up with one ship of guys that have no access to the land and Davos alone with Dany. Like, that's never going to happen. You go with an entourage.
Well, he went with a whole big ship.
Right, but they're out. In the bay. Yeah, they're out in the bay, and he's not allowed. Like, you would have a small contingent of guards. There are other people in his orbit. And so you'd have access to different conversations. You'd have different Northmen there. It just wouldn't happen under these same terms. So it's an impossible...
I think the visuals of the scene were great, though. I mean, you walk in and you see...
Let's talk about that throne room.
You see Dany sitting on the throne room, and it's just like, whew, that's kind of powerful.
I started getting a little meta on it with Kirsten. I was like, what do you think of this design? I love how geometric it is. There's, like, this modern architecture, but I love that they have the stone coming in. Yeah, and, like, it's got to be dragon glass. I'm assuming that the whole throne room is just like dragon glass. Now, the dragon stone in the books there are ornate dragons sculpted, similar to their war room. It looks like
they were on the wall.
Yeah, so in the war room where there's that, high relief, flat dragon on the wall, there are like gargoyles everywhere. The towers are shaped like in the world book. There's the opening page of the world book is... I think the end covers are Dragonstone, and it's very austere, but this very sculpted Blackstone palace. Mm-hmm. And I think in the show they're doing a great job, but I was like, oh, what do you think about those hexagonal tiles? 3 heads of the dragon, 3 heads, and it's a mirror image. And Kirsten was like, shut up.
You're getting way too meta.
And I was like, okay, I get why people get into this.
Yeah.
Next thing
you're going to be doing aliens.
Yep. So I love the throne room. I thought it was gorgeous. The smooth black stone, I thought they got right.
Jon comes in and he's like, yo, let me get that dragon glass. Let me get that dragon ass.
I love it.
Girl.
So they meet, they talk.
Davos almost let slip that he says something like, he took a dagger in the heart, and he came back, and Jon's just like, shut the fuck.
He's like, he took a knife in the heart for his people. Yep. And so he's like, I don't want anyone to know I'm a fire white, because apparently that's what he is right now, and his heart isn't pumping. I don't know. We'll see. But no, the one, did you notice immediately that Jon was like, who does this bitch think she is? Like, this is some rich kid that had the world handed to her on a platter. Yeah. Inside the episode that happened after, they kind of go into, that scene. And that's what Jon is supposed to be thinking. And after I get that, little bug put in my head, I can see it. But at the time, I just think Jon looks kind of slouchy and like not really paying attention to what's happening.
Tyrion says that he's a better brooder. He's the best emo kid in the whole land.
He's such a little bitch face. God, Jon, I just can't with you, buddy. Show me some emotional depth. Don't just like pout out your bottom lip all the time. I get that girls are like panty dropping about this, but come on, dude, pull your shit together. Does anybody else the close-ups with Dany? I love her, by the way. Emilia Clarke is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Does the platinum hair and the brown eyebrows bother you? Does that stick out to you?
Actually, honestly, not on Emilia Clarke as much, but on Cersei.
I was just going to say, and it happens again with Cersei.
On Cersei, it really bothers me.
It bothers me on both of them. It bothers me on anyone. It would bother me if it was a dude that had platinum hair and brown eyebrows. Oh, that poison is going down like nails. Holy fuck.
Yeah. No, I don't really notice it as much.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because I'm not staring at her face. I mean,
My boobs are down here. No, I'm not trying to comment on, I'm not saying that she can't have it, but if she's got this, platinum hair, wouldn't her eyebrows be a little bit lighter? I don't know. So I just find it distracting.
In a world where there are dragons and magic, I think it's acceptable that hair can be different colors on different parts of the body.
It just...
I guess we know the answer, that the carpets don't match the drapes.
Or do they? I mean, I don't know. It could be a third color down there, red. I don't know. Who knows? All men must drink.
Fire crotch?
It could be. Firebush. Come on, Dave. Come on. Kirsten said, "Oh, Daenerys." So this is when she was like online shopping.
Yeah.
And she looked up because this is like the important meeting between them, and she kept rolling her eyes. And I was like, "What? Just say it." And she's like, "Daenerys is such a little bitch." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why do you hate Dany?" And she goes, "She's so annoying. She's just a stuck-up little shit." And I was like, "I love her. Take that back."
She is though. I mean,
yeah.
She really is. She's like, I'm not gonna. And she does this time and time again. She's like, I'm not going to compromise. I'm Daenerys Stormborn.
Yeah.
Like,
neither of them want to meet in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I'm king of the north.
Yeah, and so...
Oh, speaking of... Sorry. It's the poison.
She lets him go.
Yep.
And...
No, so we got to...
He says...
He's like...
He says, am I your prisoner?
No, because before that, he was like... So Dany's opening is like, you said you're king in the north, but the last time I checked... There are 7 kingdoms, and your ancestor, Torrhen Stark, knelt to Aegon Targaryen, my ancestor, in perpetuity. So, do you not have loyalty? Are you not honorable? Like, is that your deal? Which is a knife to Jon's heart. And Jon's like, whoa, your insane dad burned my grandfather alive and my uncle. And then they just like gloss over it.
Well, she makes a comment.
And she's like, I can't be held accountable for my dad's actions.
She says the same thing that Jon says. She goes, don't judge a daughter by my father's sins or something, which I thought was a good parallel. Yeah. But then she goes right ahead and says, but your ancestors are my bitches.
I feel like
wait, what?
I feel like some raven, like Sansa, evil Sansa, was in the corner scrawling out a quick raven note to every powerful house and is just like, if Jon ever wants anything from you, just say, I can't be blamed for the sins of my father, and sent it out, because everybody seems to have that. Like, she just knows that that's his, that's his weak point. Yeah, everybody seems to know it, right? Like, I don't know, you're in a society where you kind of are responsible for the sins of your parents.
Yep.
It's so funny. So I thought that was an awesome scene.
Who comes running in and interrupts them again?
One of the, just like a serving man, but then he leaves and it's Varys.
Oh, that's right.
But I feel personally like we did not spend enough time on the fact that your dad burned my grandfather alive in his armor. Like, this is horrible. Let's just put a pin in that.
Put a pin?
And we're gonna come back to it, Dany.
Yeah. Well, remember, the war is between the living and the dead.
That's right.
All right.
Oh my god, and he sounds fucking crazy. He sounds insane.
Yeah.
He's like, but zombies.
but guys, the zombies, and it's great because Tyrion says, I believe you, but I also don't believe you. It's just like, I don't know. It was kind of a weird scene now that I go back and think about it. It was great. Don't get me wrong, but
I thought it was filmed really well. In the parts where Tyrion would step up. So you have Dany, enthroned in her fancy dress, and then Jon kind of looking around and like, who does this bitch think she is?
Yep.
And they go back and forth about the family stuff. And then, Tyrion steps up and he's like, Dany is awesome for this reason. And then over Jon's shoulder, Davos like enters the shot and is like, Jon's awesome for these reasons. Yep. And so there was this dance that was happening. Yeah. And I thought it was beautifully shot. And then the moment when she,
of ice and fire.
Yeah, when she comes down off of her throne and they meet and we're seeing them in the frame, Jon together on the right, her on the left, approaching him, and they both sort of stop equidistant apart. I thought it was a beautiful scene and for me, a very satisfying scene. Satisfying because I can pick at it and say, maybe we need to talk about how you burned my family alive. Like, this sort of thing. It would have been really easy for Jon to kneel, but his whole thing is like honor. So I don't see him kneeling. They have to be equals or something. And so somebody comes in, serving man.
Serving man comes in, whispers something to Khaleesi, and Dany's like, all right, this is going to have to wait.
Yeah.
And
everyone have a bath.
Yeah. Have a bath and whatever drawn for the men, and he goes, "Are we prisoners?"
The Davos and Tyrion Battle of the Blackwater banter.
Oh my god!
It makes the scene.
Oh yeah,
it makes the scene because like, he's just like,
for shit, we could have taken King's Landing.
You're not a
You've
monster.
You've got 3 dragons. Yeah,
you could have burned King's Landing to the ground. Hell, we almost took it, and we didn't have any dragons.
And Tyrion's like, almost.
It's so perfect.
You almost took it.
And it's just that little cutaway to Tyrion, and so they get these. The show is doing these sort of like lighthearted moments really well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. Yeah, and then so Dany's like, why are you here? And Jon says, so, why are you here against all of the advice of your Northmen and against Tyrion wouldn't want you to come if he was advising you. So what's your deal? This is Jon's moment to make a compelling argument, right? Like, get her on your side. Get a fucking dragon. Talk about the Night King in a way that doesn't make you sound like an insane person. But instead, he just jumps in and he's like, corpses are walking.
Yeah. The dead are rising. I've seen it with my own eyes.
He opens with like, dead men are real. Dude, no. Like, don't start there. Don't, right? Like, you had an entire ship ride down here to figure out what you were going to say.
I would have thought that he would have gone more into like his backstory and stuff. But I think the show needs to move along. Yeah. Because there's a lot of content left and there's not a lot of time left to get it. So I think the show moved it along at a fairly decent pace.
He has to look crazy, right? Like, she can't, if he makes a compelling argument and gets her on her side, then we lose all the drama. But he's like, the Night King is real, zombies are real, dead people are real, you're going to rule over a kingdom of corpses, we got to go to the north. Oh my god, can I get some dragon stone, some dragon glass right now?
Dragon glass, yeah.
Yep. And Dany's like, this was good. So we got to stay in the scene for another minute. Because I have notes.
Okay, bring them on.
Dany says to him, and this is, I think, connects with the book. I wonder if your father, says Dany, Ned Stark, knew that his best friend, King Robert Baratheon, sent assassins to murder me, a baby in a crib. Right? Like, she is looking at Jon Snow. The reason that Ned lied to Robert, because if Jon Snow is Rhaegar Targaryen's kid, which Robert we know he is, killed. He would have murdered, and he probably would have murdered Ned. What a betrayal.
Yeah.
And so, yes, of course he knows. That's why Jon Snowgarian doesn't know who his dad is. Ned's best friend would have smashed little baby Rhaegar, Lyanna's rape baby, these are my notes, with his own warhammer. And he would have probably killed Ned for trying to hide it from him.
Yeah, but Jon doesn't know any of this.
He doesn't know any of it.
He doesn't know any of this.
And so the subtext there is delightful, and I'm really glad that Dany brings it up. And I like that they are, aunt and nephew, Targaryen, the last scions of House Targaryen, looking at each other. Jon himself, a blend of ice and fire. Dany, the reignition of fire magic in the world, mother of dragons.
This is the remix to Ignition.
And like Robert Baratheon.
Fire. I've been rolling them dragons and everybody is wishing.
Do you want to trade? Do you want to drink some of my poison for me?
No. Sipping on coke and rum. I mean poison wine
Sipping poison
Sipping poison wine dumb. I'm like, so what? I'm done.
I have to do like Olenna and just down the whole thing.
Just do it. Just do it right now.
No, I need another minute.
Chug.
I just took such a big sip.
Come on, Susie. Chug, meow, chug, meow, chug, meow, chug, meow.
All right.
All right, you know what? I'll chug with you because I only got a sip or two left.
You have
right, ready?
A small swallow.
That's right. Ready?
All right, all men.
Must drink.
All men
Down
must
in
drink.
one, let's go. Put it away. You're so close. Put it away. Come on. It's the last of it, and we'll pour another glass, and it'll just be Dornish Red.
God.
There you go.
Oh, pass me that water. Holy fuck. I've been poisoned. I'm sorry I murdered your children. Tell Cersei.
Sorry I murdered your cunt of a child.
Joffrey really was a cunt, wasn't he?
Joffrey was a cunt.
The zombie talk, Tyrion Davos, no birthright. And so Davos is all like, Jon Snow doesn't have any birthright. He's a bastard. His birthright is better than yours, bitch. You're sitting on his throne right now.
Yep.
This is his birthright, if you think about it.
That's right.
So he gave his own... Oh, and then this is when he says he gave his own... Zip it, Davos.
Yeah.
He gave his own life, is what he's going to say.
Yeah. He took a knife in the heart.
Yeah.
Zip it, Davos.
Ugh.
And yeah, that basically ended the scene. They get ushered out. He goes, "Am I your prisoner?"
The messenger says, the fleet is sunk. We have no more ships. We're fucked.
Yeah,
That's what it said. And she's like, okay, hey guys, have a bath. Go have a bite to eat. Relax a little while. And he's all like, am I your prisoner?
Not yet. You're not.
Not yet. What was the opening scene? I have notes. I did them in order. Let me see what.
I think the opening scene, wasn't it Euron strolling through on fucking horseback to fucking like clapter and cheering? That wasn't the opening scene?
No, it was Jon Snow's sad little boat.
Arriving.
Heavy drums, boom, boom, or playing in the background, boom, boom. And I'm like, a family reunion. Uncle Tyrion, nephew Jon, what's up?
That's not what they say. I'm pretty sure it goes as long as the bastard of Winterfell, the dwarf of Casterly Rock.
That's right. And it's
and then
like,
they hug.
I know.
And then they hug. It's just like, oh man.
And he's like, Davos is like, I haven't seen you, dwarf, since the Battle of the Blackwater. And he goes, unluckily for me, says Davos.
Yeah.
Meaning the Blackwater. Oh, it's so good.
And I think Jon says something. The last time I saw you, you were pissing off the wall or something.
Yeah. He's like, you're pissing off the wall. That's right. And I thought, until I saw their boat floating a couple of scenes later,
that was the boat that they came on?
That it was just, I was like, come on, show, pull your shit together. Are you asking me to believe that Jon Snow and Davos, with no food and nothing, in a rowboat from Eastwatch, just paddled down? Not. And so I was like, you're asking too much.
Of course not, Tana. We see their boat sitting in the bay. Yep.
Oh my God. Was Davos, here's my first question.
Yeah.
They get to the island. They have to give up their weapons. They've rowed their boat in.
Row your boat.
They're walking up to Dragonstone.
All your weapons.
Is Davos trying to get frisky with Missandei? Did you get that?
How are you? Haven't heard that accent in a while. I have a boyfriend, bitch. I have a boyfriend.
I'm not into dudes with a penis.
I'm into dudes only when they're identify as a Ken doll, okay?
He's all like, oh, I hear they have nice butterflies on Nath. I've never been myself. I'm not a doctor, but I'll take a look.
A couple people were like, "Oh, he's trying to get with Missandei," and I think he was just being interested and exotic and polite.
I think he was being polite because she gives him the cold shoulder, and then he's like, "Oh, things have really changed around here.
Yep,
it's full of bitches."
Yep.
Jon and Tyrion. Why's everyone got to talk about banging his sister?
Oh.
Right? Like,
oh my God, they're walking up. and.
Like, what is
Let's put it this way. Tyrion really just wanted to say, like, dude, I promise, I just didn't have sex with her.
Nothing happened.
I didn't touch
Nothing
her.
happened.
Don't kill me, man.
Does she totally miss me?
Yeah.
But he's like,
does she miss me? I promise we didn't bang. We didn't consummate.
And he was like, why does every fucking person want to talk to Jon about banging his sister? Like, this
and then we see it again with fucking Bran. Bran's sitting at the wall.
Yes!
And he's
I
just
didn't
like,
even think of that.
Like, oh my God, Sansa is like, hey, Bran, can you explain to me what the three-eyed raven thing is all about? And Bran's like, you looked pretty when you were getting raped in your white dress.
And it's so creepy.
You looked so pretty, my dear.
Like, what? There's no reason. Kirsten and I started cracking up because we're like, there's no reason for him to be this creepy.
So, okay, wait. So one theory that someone said to me, which I don't believe, but it could
lay
explain
it on me.
This thing,
it can't be any weirder than the scene.
Is that Bloodraven didn't actually transfer his knowledge to Bran, but took over his fucking body.
Right, I could be into that.
Like, slapped him in the back and was like, bitch, I'm the most powerful warg in the universe, and now I am you!
So he's Hodored him.
He Hodored him, yeah.
I could see that.
And so he's sitting in this fucking thing, and he's like, I'm not Bran. I'm the three-eyed raven now. You looked pretty. It's just like, what?
It's going to be that. I love that crackpot. It's going to be too complicated for the show.
It's way too complicated
but I love
for the
it.
show. Yeah,
because
agreed.
There's no reason. Bran's all like, he's just stoned, right? Like, he is in... And did you expect the tree to open its eyes?
Yes.
I think that's why they framed it that way.
Yes.
But the whole time we're just waiting for that tree to open its fucking eyes.
The whole time I'm like, oh shit, that tree's gonna talk.
Yep. And so like that's coming down the road. So prediction for next week or sometime this season, the tree opens its goddamn eyes. But like Sansa's asking perfectly normal questions.
Yeah.
Where were you? I'm the three-eyed raven. Okay. And then he keeps talking.
Well, he's like, it's hard to explain. And
I thought you were the three-eyed raven. Well, it's hard to explain. Now I'm going to talk about how I saw you on your, rape night.
Rape night, yeah.
What the fuck, man? You don't have to be this weird, dude. You can be like normal. You could be.
And if you think about it, it's really not that hard to explain. Ready? We went north of the wall in search of the three-eyed ravens. We got attacked. Fucking Benjen saved us, and now I'm the three-eyed raven because the other three-eyed raven died. Done.
5 sentences.
5 sentences. I get it.
4 sentences if you use a comma. That's easy.
Fuck commas.
Yeah, man. Make declarative sentences. I'm into that. So he gets super weird. There was something that was like, somebody on Twitter was like, Bran is every emo cousin I've ever had in my entire life when they, who smoked 1 cigarette and is suddenly so goth.
It's too complicated. Fucking conformist.
So let's see. I am enjoying. So from the trailers, I'm picking up the scenes from the trailers where we're like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Where is this? Where is this?
You mean the coming next?
Yeah,
thing?
because there was one of the trailers. So Sansa's walking through the Godswood and has that haunted look in her blue eyes.
Yeah.
And that was this scene with Bran. So she's like just been super creeped out by her brother watching her get attacked by Ramsay. So not what I expected from the way they stitched together the trailer.
Which I think was on purpose.
Of course.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got, so I'm sort of mentally checking off all the little scenes. And now I'm like, oh, but we still have dragons fighting. We still have this coming up. We still have that coming up. So anyway, back to the beginning. Jon and Tyrion, why everyone's talking about banging his sister. That's what, And he goes, Sansa, so this is my idea. Is she the new Gatehouse Amy? This is only a funny joke if you know the books.
I know the books, but I don't get this.
Everybody is trying to get with Sansa. Everyone is talking about banging Sansa. Everyone in the show. Okay. Tyrion, Ramsay was talking about it. Fucking Baelish, Bran, everybody. Everyone wants to talk, and especially to Jon. Anyway, let's see. She's smart, he says.
Yeah.
And if she'd let it show, and Jon says
she's starting to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he goes, good. And then how did a Lannister become hand to Daenerys Targaryen? It's a long and bloody tale. Plus, I was drunk for most of it.
Yeah, that was great.
Tyrion's getting some good lines again.
Yep.
And then, what happens? It's the opening. Jon's walking up the plank, or walking up the long walkway.
Yeah.
They're bantering.
Oh, and a fucking dragon. Wait. But the first thing happens is he says, I'm not a Stark or something.
He says, I'm not a Stark.
He goes, I'm not a Stark.
That's
as soon as that happens,
I'm no Stark. He says, I'm no Stark.
And fucking a dragon, Drogon, comes down and does a flyby.
Was it Drogon?
Permission? I think it was.
I think it was. So I paused it.
Yeah. Was it a black one?
It's a white dragon. I think it's the white dragon.
Okay.
If Jon's getting a dragon, wouldn't it make sense for him to get the white dragon? He has a white wolf.
That's true.
And so I think the white dragon was like, give me a hug.
Permission to buzz the tower.
Coming in for a hug, buddy.
Negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. We're doing it anyway. Does a flyby.
Yeah.
I mean, the showrunners are not giving us really anything to guess here. He's a fucking Targaryen. I'm not a Stark. Yep. Dragon. Incoming dragon.
Yeah. So that's a little on the nose, but I loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
And then Tyrion, I like the way that they frame this, and he goes to give him a hand up. When does a dwarf ever get to be the tall guy?
That's right.
And they angled the camera, so I was like, who is this giant of Lannister giving Jon a hand up? And he's like, I'd say you get used to them, but you never do.
I'm pretty sure that's what Shay says. You're my giant of a Lannister.
I'm no Stark. Roar! And then I think, it's a dragon hug. He's trying to come in. He's like, hey, Jon, what's up?
You're gonna be on my back, bitch.
Come on, buddy.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see. So one thing I did want to note here at the opening. In the books, the dragons are super wild.
Yeah.
They are not, Dany, the way that she's been talking in this season, she's like, we could attack King's Landing with 3 dragons. I'll ride Drogon and somehow have magical control over the other 2 dragons.
Yeah.
That is not the case in the books. The dragons are wild. She can't even control them.
Yeah.
She's still at the end of Dance with Dragons. She has 2
of them chained up still, doesn't she?
Yeah, and she doesn't have control of Drogon. Drogon just comes and goes as he pleases.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't really listen to her.
He protects her, though. I mean, he finds her
at
out
the end in the Great Grass Sea. He comes to her, she calls him, and so I wonder if there's like some sort of wargang connection that's growing stronger. Yeah.
The Dragon X gene.
Yeah, the Dragon X gene, the Nymeria shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, I wanted to point that out. She says we have 3 dragons, as if she can command all of them, which I suppose is very convenient for TV.
Yeah.
But in the books, this is not the case at all. We have very wild, very dangerous dragons. Yeah. Anyway, on to Melisandre and Varys.
Ooh,
that
great.
poison is kicking in. You know what it's like? It's the Cersei kiss poison. I don't know when it's gonna hit me. It's coming later. Melisandre and Varys.
I'm chained up here to watch it.
Oh, God, that's true. Everyone is so moody. I've brought fire and ice together. She's standing on the cliff and is just, like, brooding over Jon Snow. Uh-huh. I understand you can't say hi to your ex-boyfriend that you brought back from death, but, like, I don't know.
Why are you so upset about it?
Davos isn't that scary.
But
you could just say hi. You could just, like, say hi.
I think this is a great scene because Varys comes up.
Yeah.
And Varys has a complete disdain for sorcery.
Yes.
And he shows it in this
scene.
Now,
so remind me, in the show, does this happen in the show?
Yes.
So he, like, talks about the sorcerer cutting off his junk or something?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly if he makes the same comment like, I wasn't scared of the sorcerer, I was scared that something talked back.
Right.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
But he definitely explains it to Tyrion, like in the whatever, the paddy wagon.
Yeah,
they're being,
in the old paddy wagon.
The old paddy wagon that they're being palanquin. That's what it's called, right? Palanquin, yeah. That they're, being pulled along. But regardless, that definitely happens. So we know that he hates sorcerers. And it
comes across in the scene.
Oh,
like,
man,
he is like, bitch.
So much in the scene.
He's like, bitch, you could just jump. It's fine.
Yeah, basically.
That's his attitude.
And he makes this comment. He's like, never come back. I suggest you leave and never come back. Yeah. And she says, I will come back one more time.
I have that clip. Can we talk about this? Yeah. But first of all, just his visual, just his like hands inside his jacket. He's got this whole like Napoleon thing going on, and I love it.
That's how he's been always. He's always just kind of sitting there with his hands inside.
Love it.
And he's just like,
I just love it.
He's just like, I'm the man.
I was like, his whole Napoleon shit. I'm just into it. Okay, so this is that scene.
Okay.
It's the only audio clip I have for today, but here we go.
I would only be a distraction if I stayed.
Yep.
So where will you go?
Volantis.
Good.
It's going to be interesting.
If you don't mind my saying, I don't think you should return to Westeros.
Don't come back.
Jump.
I'm not sure you'll be safe here.
Dun dun.
Oh, I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
What the fuck is that?
He's seen her death in.
She's seen his death we gotta talk about this. Why has she seen his death in the fire? Get meta, man.
I don't know.
She only sees her own death in the fire. Not only, but like she looks for Azor Ahai. She looks for her threats against her own self. And she sees Jon Snow all the time and doesn't understand why that's important.
She makes another comment, which I think ties into this. Maybe not in this scene, but at some point she makes, I'm just playing my role or something like we all have roles to play.
Right.
And so I'm really interested to see how Varys' storyline plays out. I don't know. I can't think of anything except for the fact that we think he may be of Targaryen blood himself.
Do you think that's going to come out in the show, or is that something that they've just... Because they squished him together with the cheesemonger.
Yeah.
So like, and they're not doing any of the Blackfire stuff. We don't have fake Aegon. We don't have any of the
without that whole
storyline.
That whole story arc that happens in the books not happening in the show, it's very likely that they're not going to do anything with him being a Targaryen.
Because what would be the purpose?
Right, exactly. But clearly he still has a role to play.
So my question, just to
and
think
I love
about,
the fact that she says, "Dear Spider."
Dear Spider.
Like.
She knows.
She knows. Absolutely, she knows.
Yep.
Like, and do you think he knows that she's as old as she is?
My instinct says no.
Yeah, right. So like, I feel like she's been around the block.
I think he recognizes a threat.
I'm still Melisandre from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot.
So one of the crackpot theories in the book is that Melisandre,
and I know where I came from,
is the daughter of Bloodraven.
Oh, right. Yes.
So with Shiera Seastar.
Doesn't she kind of have a stain on her cheek?
I don't know.
Just a little bit red
and
tear,
so,
maybe?
she's like white and red, which are weirwood colors. And, she's well past her normal lifespan.
That's right.
And Bloodraven is, I don't know, 170 or something.
And he looks like he's 20,
notes.
like fucking three-eyed raven over
With
there.
that mushroom growing out of his eye. It's
yeah, right?
so nice. No, but so one of the crackpot theories is that Melisandre is the daughter of Targaryens, of Bloodraven and his half-sister Shiera Seastar. And that they got captured by a slaver.
Do you know this information from the World Book? Has Red R'hllor been around for a really long time? Like, who's the original Red R'hllor, Red Priestess type of thing?
The religion is centered in Asshai by the Shadow, but a lot of dark magic is centered there.
Yeah.
And if we believe the, Great Empire of the Dawn fracture, then all of these places, Old Gis, Asshai,
Red Priestess or something. Okay.
the Jogosnai, the Dothraki, they all like originate in Yeti, in that great civilization that fractured, and they keep pieces of it.
Gotcha.
So, and she studied in Asshai by the Shadow. That's where we get this like.
They call her Melisandre from Asshai or something like that. So.
And so, but there is the base of the Red Priest is in Volantis. So in the books, and she's going back to Volantis. And I think in Winds of Winter, the next book coming out, Dany ends up in Volantis. And Volantis is the oldest. So we, in our normal podcasts about the books, have talked about all these little, like, smooth black stone cities.
Whoa.
I know. Just very quickly, 2 more sentences.
Normal podcast.
But Volantis is the oldest and biggest, the grandest, and like of all of the battle outposts at the edge of, the Great Empire of the Dawn. And there is, 6 chariots can run abreast around their city, and only people of the blood can go into the old city where they have ancient scrolls. And Dany is the fucking blood. Yeah. She's got 3 dragons, and she's headed that way, or she will be.
So you think she finds some good, useful information?
I think we're going to learn a lot. I'm very excited. So we've been in Volantis in the books with Jorah, who has captured Tyrion and enslaved him, and he's trying to deliver him back. Yep. And in Volantis, he puts them in shackles, and they like stay, and
then they both get captured and become
But they see Benaro, the main Red Priest, talking about their religion, and this is where we get a lot of the ideas about the comet smashing into the moon, because even though they don't understand the High Valyrian, they're like miming this show. The Red Priests are miming, and how his fist smashes into, a moon, and then 1,000 comets rain down to Earth. And so there are 1,000 flames that guard the temple of the Red Priests. And so like there is deep imagery here, but it's all like background stuff for when Jorah's like, stop making jokes. You're my prisoner. You're a slave now. Shut the fuck up. We need to get to Daenerys.
Yeah.
So that's the only time that we're really in Volantis.
Speaking of Jorah.
Yeah, speaking of Jorah.
We fucking see him cured.
Oh my God.
In the show.
Sam pulled it out. Also, fastest healing ever. Like, what was this? Well, like a 12-hour process?
So,
but we gotta go. We only have like 7 episodes, so we gotta get there.
Yeah, the timeline is speeding along. I mean, I love the best part is Archmaister's like,
Archmaester Slytherin. I love that he has. What is that poker thing?
Yeah,
it's like he has a little antenna.
It's like a yud. Well, he doesn't want to get. He doesn't want to get grayscale.
Yeah, so he's just like poking
and prodding, and he's basically at the end. He's just like, "Yeah, you're cured. Get the fuck out. This room. He says this room is needed for the sick or something. Get the fuck out." And I
love that they're not like, there's no follow-up here. It's not like outpatient treatment. We don't have to see if it comes back.
Right.
You're just good to go. Great job.
And then the handshake. Jorah shakes Sam's hand.
Right here, put it here, buddy.
And it's like,
human contact.
Human contact, yeah, for so long.
And Jorah's just like, yeah, man.
Oh, it was great.
That was a really great scene.
Yep. And then, of course, Sam gets like...
Jorah's just like, I don't know, I started feeling better. There are some great one-liners in the show, Dave. Who am I? I love this show right now.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Sam gets quote unquote punished, but he's like, these old scrolls, they need to be They need to be copied because they're rotting.
There can't possibly be any narrative purpose to this.
What did you think? What did you think? There's gonna be a reward or something?
I thought he was gonna get a mace or chain. I thought he was gonna get
a healing link.
Yeah, I think everyone thought that.
Yeah.
I thought he was getting a link.
But instead, he's like, "Bitch, you copy these scrolls." Which, come on, there's gonna be some Night's King information there. The Long Night information, like, fucking Archmaester is quote unquote rewarding him. I think by giving him like a. Hey, here's a whole bunch of nights of the long night data, and they need to be copied anyway. So, bitch, you might as well
So you think that? So this guy is Archmaester Slytherin is supposed to be Ebros in the show.
He is Ebros.
Okay, so he's Maester Ebros.
I looked at IMDb. And he's cast because I was reading an article.
Ebros is the healer. Is he the medicine guy? Is he a historian? What's Ebros? I should know this.
You should know this. I don't know.
Excusez-moi, the poison really goes through me.
No, I was reading a fucking article on like Gawker or some bullshit like that.
Sounds right.
And they make a comment like, Archmaester Marwyn is telling fucking Sam to go poop and scoop. And I'm like, that's when I texted you and I said, wait, this guy's supposed to be Marwyn? No fucking way. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No way.
This is not Marwyn. And the curiosity killed my cat.
Susie is alive and well.
She's alive. Yeah.
She did not drink any of this poison.
Yeah. And so I went to IMDb and I was like, if they cast him as Marwyn, like, I'm going to shit a brick. Like, this is not cool. I'm becoming
Burn
Tana.
the world down.
And so I look it up, and it's Ebros, and I'm like, okay, it's not fucking Marwyn.
So what's Ebros?
Okay. No, I don't know.
Potions master?
I think he's history. I think he's like history and medicine. He's
I
clearly medicine because
he's got to be medicine.
He was like weighing the fucking weights of all those organs and shit.
I think he's the medicine. He's the healing poison doctor. I don't know. So yeah, I think instead he's all like copy some old scrolls. I'm sure that has nothing to do with future plot points.
Yeah, right. There's nothing.
Watch out for paper mites. They also bite human flesh.
They eat flesh. Yeah, they do have a taste for flesh. Okay, great.
So he doesn't get his link, but he heals Jorah.
Yep.
And then Jorah's back out in the field. Jorah's going. He's gonna be like.
He's going to his love.
He's gonna follow his like ding dong right to Daenerys.
He's got a divining rod, if you know what I mean.
Boo 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 boo. Instead of water, it's like Mother of Dragons. Swing.
Oh, I'm feeling the burning. Why does anyone listen to our? I'm feeling the burning over there.
I'm glad that we are NSFW.
Not safe for work.
Yeah, that's it.
Explicit.
I always think not suitable. Because I'm fancier than you guys. Not suitable.
Not suitable for work.
Let's see.
All right, what else happened in the show? Fucking Euron. The Euron scene is so good.
And I mean...
So fucking good. Okay, so let's paint this picture. I'm sure you guys have watched it, but he's fucking troping through town on a horse.
Tromping. Not troping.
Whatever. And he's just like... That's right, bitches. Cheer for me, motherfuckers. I'm the god. So I think they capture Euron so perfectly.
Yeah, I agree.
So fucking perfectly.
Yep, I agree.
And then he gets into the throne room.
He's blowing kisses. He's cracking whips. He's telling his niece how hard he is.
Yep.
Based on like the adoration from the crowd, which is so gross.
Yeah, this
but
is
somehow works.
Hard.
And like poor Yara, what are we calling her?
Yara. Asha Greyjoy.
It's not Asha. Asha is not Yara. They are not the same, but it's fine. Yara is looking abject and miserable.
They are the same person.
You better watch yourself. You better watch yourself. Poor Ilaria Sand. Although we're pandering to the audience here, would she really be like tits out? Spitting on people? I don't know. It's an HBO show. We got to show some flesh, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. The mountain. Would be out. So they get into the throne room.
Yep.
And there's that opening scene, and he's like riding the horse, and he has all his captives, and he's returning
rides
victorious.
The horse into the throne room.
Yep.
Like that's how much of I'm a fucking bitch ass bomb ass master. I'm not even getting off my fucking horse until the end. Amen must drink.
This is way better. This without Dornish Red without the poison. Holy fuck. Anyway.
Tromps into the throne room, gets off his horse, and is like, Cersei, my love, I've got some presents for you.
I give you justice. That's his line.
I give you justice.
I give you justice. What no other man, lingering look at Jamie.
Looking at Jamie. What no other man, hey, you,
could give you.
That's right.
Just one note. So I've been paying attention to their uniforms, whatever you call them, since you mentioned it. they look awesome. So that little like lesbian page that came to knock on Cersei's door and be like, "Are you banging your brother?"
Black in the
same black and then like chased in silver. I love it.
Yep.
The mountain in that scene. So Euron comes in on the horse, and then the camera spins around to Cersei on the throne, Jaime to the right, or and the mountain to the left. The mountain looks huge. I mean, imposing.
Yep. And Ellaria Sand sees him, and he's just like,
he
was dead.
She is just like, fuck. He's massive. He steals the scene. Like, your eye is just like drawn to the left side of Cersei on that little throne.
And that's why he's so recognizable, even in that fucking suit of armor.
Yep.
It's just like, there's no one that big.
Yeah. He just looks huge besides normal men. So I give you justice, what no other man, Jaime, could give you.
Yep.
And then Euron, like, speaking of how they film it, he literally places himself between Jaime and Cersei. Like, he plants himself between them.
Yep. And then he goes over to Jaime and whispers, and he goes, "When we're not here, you're gonna need to give me some pointers. Like, she like a finger in the bum or something."
He's like, tell me how to best fuck your sister. We're like brothers now. That's what he says. He's like, dude, we're like bros now. So we'll just go grab some beers. You can tell me how to best fuck your sister.
Yeah, does she like a finger in the bum?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And again, Cersei's eyebrows. She's got like the red hair and brown eyebrows. I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Cersei, it only really hits me with Cersei. I don't know why.
It takes me out of it a little bit. I'm not like I do not mean to say this as I'm commenting on women's appearance.
Yeah,
you get to do whatever you want, but like
you're judging her.
I feel like there needs to be some subtlety in the eyebrows. Something.
You're judging her.
I was judging all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If she wants to identify as a Lannister with golden hair, she can. All right.
Her hair looks red.
My
she
pronouns
looks like a ginger
are lion,
right now.
lioness. Okay.
All men must drink
Must
lioness. Let's see. He loves the people. They're so great. Jamie's like, this same mob spat on my sister not that long ago. They'll turn on you
too.
in a second.
Finger in a bum?
Yeah, exactly.
I just come back to that.
And he's like, shh, not now.
Yeah.
That's what Euron says to him. He's like, did she like a finger in the bum? Shh, don't tell me now. Just save it.
Save it for later.
If you're Jaime, and so he's gonna be like, if I had my fucking sword hand, I would chop this guy's head off right now.
Yep.
So we've got Cersei, Ellaria, and Ellaria's daughter.
Yep.
There's that kiss.
Man,
like, what's up?
I knew something was up, and then as soon as she kisses her, I'm like, yep, that's it. And then the best part is she makes the comment like, and you're gonna have to watch her rot. And if you don't eat, we'll fucking force food down your throat. If you don't drink, we're gonna force the water down your throat. You will live to see your daughter die.
I wish so. If my dogs weren't barking and I could have made a little like sound clip, I would love to hear what Cersei says because it's worth it. Go back and rewatch that scene. She is stone cold. You can see in a rewatch that her lips are light pink. Yeah. Like she has the poison lip gloss on.
And then she wipes it off.
Yeah. And so like, and the girl, the daughter then has it. So like there are these very subtle details that the show is doing that I never appreciated before now. But yeah, so she's, and Cersei is asking all these questions. You know, she's stalking around the room like a lioness. And she's saying, I breastfed Marcella. She was mine, my daughter. They wanted to give her to a wet nurse, but she was mine.
Yeah.
And then Cersei looks at Ellaria and says, I never had a mother. And I was like, God, she's getting me, right? Like she's got that knife in my heart right now. If Cersei is to be humanized, even though she's about to commit this atrocious act, this is the stuff, like even in the books and now in the show. She justifies
herself so well.
It's this identity as a mother. And the fact that the showrunners knew to reach way back and say, I never had a mother. Like this in a society where, women don't breastfeed or whatever, and you give it to a wet nurse.
Yeah.
She had her only daughter. And this, oh my God, it blew my mind. It is worth rewatching that whole scene. I wish I had the audio clip for you guys, but I don't. What are you going to do?
Did you get a little lady boner for Cersei at that
No, because she terrifies me. So no, like my lady boner is run. It's over in the next. It took the train. It's out of town. It's gone. But yeah, so I think that they do this, and the pacing of the scene is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, they slow it down just enough.
Qyburn is there, and just like
with the antidote, right? Because he hands Cersei the antidote, which I think, without banging you over the head with it, right?
Basically,
you know, she's got poison on her lips, and then she kisses the daughter.
She wipes it off. We see her kind of wipe it off, and then drink the antidote.
And so when you see that, so she kisses the daughter. She's like, I thought of all these terrible ways that we were going to do this.
And then she goes and bangs her brother.
And then she like kisses.
And then she sucks Lannister cock.
Oh, Jaime has such a cute butt. He really does. I don't want to objectify him, but he's got a cute butt.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And then she's all like, I never got to have a mother. I don't sleep very well. Not really. Not at night. I'm always thinking. And then she like kisses the kid. She's like, you're going to watch your daughter rot. It could take days until she dies. This is going to be horrible for you.
Yeah.
Peace out. I'm going to go fuck my brother.
Peace. I'm going to go suck some dick.
Oh, so stone cold.
Yeah.
And then she's all like, caution to the wind. This is where, although the book and the show are not at all the same, this is where it diverges
a lot
sharply for me, because Cersei is not about.
Yeah, we talked about this already.
Yeah,
so
she's not about showing Brother D.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got let's see.
What else is left? I think we covered most of everything.
Euron's Armada. So she talks to the banker. I thought that the banker was perfectly cast.
Yes.
This guy with his like twisty. It's almost like his mouth is
We've
like
seen
that
him before.
evil mustache.
Yeah.
You know that like the bad guy twirls, except his like lip muscles do that curl. Like he has that very animated curly mouth where he's like.
We've seen him before. We know this is the Iron Bank.
And Cersei, unlike in the books, she seems competent. She's going to pay the Iron Bank.
This is the second time they're meeting.
Yeah.
And yeah, this time she seems like, don't worry, motherfucker, I'm going to get you your money.
Yeah, and she, you know, how do revolutionaries fare? How do these people pay their debts? A lion always pays their debts. So I thought that was very well done. Once again, a break from the books. Now, from that scene, so we go to the banker, then we go immediately to the brood off.
Boom,
boom, boom.
I came up here to brood, Jon Snow, but let it be known that I said it first. You are the best brooder out of the both of us, you emo fuck.
Bastard. I'm trapped on this island.
This scene
Why
is good,
did
though.
I come south?
This scene is good, though, because it really shows the respect that the two men, I think, have for each other.
They like each other.
In the fact that, they like each other. They believe each other. They don't lie to each other. And so they go back and forth about the living dead and all this stuff. And Tyrion basically says, dude, you sound like a fucking crazy nut.
Yep.
Give me something that I can go to Dany with and convince her to help you. Give me something small. And that's when we then cut to the scene where...
Is there anything I can do for you?
Right. And then we cut to the scene where...
And I thought, no, Jon's here and he's stupid. But immediately he was like, dragon glass.
Yeah, exactly. And so they cut to Dany. Dany's walking down the...
Time out. There's two really good lines of... I know that we're kind of going through this.
Did I gloss over them?
Yeah. I trust the eyes of an honest man more than what everybody knows.
Oh, right.
Because Jon is so desperate for people to believe him. He's like, so you believe me? And he's like, no, but I trust, you say you've seen this, and I trust the eyes of an honest man more than I trust what everyone says.
Right.
And then, again...
Which is an interesting thing because everyone says that he killed Joffrey, but he knows he didn't.
Yep.
So that's a... little interesting thing. But okay, go ahead. What's the other good one?
And then Uncle Tyrion says to nephew Jon, children are not their fathers. Lucky for us. Because Jon's like, my Ned was right. My father came south of the wall and he died.
Yep.
What am I doing here? I should have listened to my bros. And Tyrion's like, we're not our fathers. Lucky for us. Which for Tyrion means he's not Tywin and he's not the Mad King. Which is good. And for Jon means, I don't know, you could be Rhaegar.
Could be. But he's not. He's not a singer.
Yeah. So then Tyrion and Dany.
So I think this is...
A wise man once said.
Man once said, boat sex. But, no, I think this is good because, they're kind of talking and Dany's basically like, no, I don't believe you, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I'm going to let you mine the dragon glass.
Yep.
And I'll give you men and resources.
Yep.
And
I'll give you everything you need.
John's just like,
it's like fucking great.
Bitch,
awesome.
you all right.
I got something to do now. Look at us.
Yeah.
I like that he came to her down the stairs. I think, he's walking. She's like brooding. Everyone's brooding on this island.
Yep.
But Tyrion, when he's talking to Dany, is like, a wise man once said, and she's like, are you just saying that you said it?
I forgot about that scene. That was so good.
And he was like,
do you have the quote? Do you have it written down?
It just says, a wise man once said, and then Dany, he says whatever.
Danny says something. Are you trying to pass off your own quotes?
Are you that wise man?
As wise men's? And and he goes, I would never do that to you.
Exactly. Except he's just done it, which is so great.
Yep. Great.
And then she says that's the scene in the wise man once said, this is where Tyrion is bringing up to Dany, you should let him mine the dragon glass. It's worthless.
It's worthless to us.
You didn't know it was here. You can give him this. It's a step in the right direction, all that stuff.
He makes the comment something like, and, if they win and succeed, you've made a friend and an ally. And if they're lying, you still made a friend and an ally because you gave him what he wanted.
And it's worthless to us.
It's worthless to us,
so let him do it, and it keeps him busy. But then he says, Dany so Tyrion has asked her something or says something, and Dany looks at him and goes, a knife in the heart.
What did he mean about that?
What was that? Did you pick up on that? And do you think Tyrion picked up on it?
I think he did.
Absolutely. And he's like lying to Dany, and he's like, oh, I didn't know. What does he say? Did you notice that? A flight of fancy. It's dreary in the north. You have to allow them their fancy
fantasies or whatever, yeah.
And so he passes it off, but it's got to stick out to Tyrion.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
So, all right. Then Jon is watching the dragons fly, and Dany, this is when,
Dany walks
he
up.
comes down the stairs.
Yeah, right.
And Dany says, I named them for my brothers, Viserys and Rhaegar. I think that was a reminder that Rhaegar is her brother. And so Jon is her nephew.
Correct.
That's her.
That's how that connection works.
Yeah, in the show, reminding us specifically, these two are named for my fucking brothers. Yep, and I really am enjoying these conversations between them. I like that they're both operating from positions of power, and they want to connect, but they're not. And they're sort of, jockeying for position. And Jon's like, so you believe me? And she's like, you're going to have to be busy mining all that dragon glass.
Yeah.
Take a walk. Let me see. Jon, you've been talking to Tyrion. And Dany says, he is my hand. And Jon says he enjoys talking, and Dany says, we all enjoy what we're good at.
Yeah.
And then Jon says, I don't.
He's
so fucking moody. You are such a little bitch baby. Oh my God. I don't. He's so, come on, man. And we have to talk about Creepy Bran.
We did already.
But did we?
Yeah.
So Sansa walks through that camp and she's a fucking boss. We have no food. We need to do this and this and this. Put some leather on that fucking armor.
Yep.
Da-da-da. Yeah, oh my God, who's here? It's Bran.
Did they just do that in the show to make it seem like Sansa knows what the fuck she's doing?
Yes.
Because, those Northmen wouldn't have not been putting leather, master armor smiths.
It could have been southern armorers that have never, it could be like the dudes from the Vale of Arryn. Okay. But the Vale of Arryn gets icy, so... But yeah, it could have just been... So they're doing it to show that Sansa is, good at leading.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing, yeah.
But she's like, here's all our food.
Another good thing that happens is she says something to the maester that's there about how long was the long night. And he says, I don't know, I'll check Master Lewin's records. He kept every single Raven scroll.
Oh, so what does that mean? Tell me, Dave.
I think it just means that there's a record of every single Raven scroll. So
Peter Baelish, when he sent the Raven to Lysa, so Sansa has to figure out that that Peter is behind. Okay, the poison is seeping into my blood now. I'm gonna die anytime now.
Yeah, you are.
But Sansa needs to know that Petyr is bad for her.
Yeah.
And poisoned her dad, or is the reason her dad is dead. Not her. It is her. I still blame her.
Well, I'm sure I'm not exactly sure what it means exactly, but I think it's important to know that he is bringing up Master Lewin, and B is like, he kept every Raven scroll that ever came here. So we'll see what the
the very first scroll that comes there that's important is the one from Lysa to Catelyn saying Jon Arryn was murdered, come down to King's Landing.
Yeah.
But we know by book 4 or something that Peter had written all that. I have the clip. We don't have to listen to it.
Okay.
Dany, let's see. So Winterfell, Creepy Bran, we got to get there.
We got there already. We discussed it. We discussed it when we were talking. Come on, I know the poison's in your skin, but we talked about how everyone wants to fuck Sansa, and we're like, oh, Bran's like, fucking, you look pretty when you get raped.
Peter telling Sansa that she has to fight every battle on every continent, in every mind, at all times, was good. Between everyone.
And that's Bran. That is Bran. Bran is living every moment all the time. He can see everything all at once. That is literally the three-eyed raven.
So does Sansa become Bran's Hodor? Like I'm not saying in the way that he would warg into her, but like in the real world that she can do the actions that he can't.
Says. I think it's part of it.
They've got to team up, right?
Well, he's there, right? And I think he's definitely going to be like, yo, Sansa, this shit's about to go down.
Send some ravens.
You need to do
move some troops. Yeah, get these guys in position. This is what's going on.
He's going to be like Sansa's Jojen.
He's this
more than Hodor. He's going to be Jojen.
He's the CPU. Is like,
yo, we should move this way. Yo, we should go to the north of the wall.
Was Jojen in the show?
Yeah.
Because all we have is Mira.
No, he dies. But
what happened to Mira? She wasn't in this episode.
She wasn't in this episode, no. Maybe they were like, she drops Bran off at Winterfell and then just like, all right, peace, I'm out.
Yep, she's like, don't worry about it.
I'm going back to get my daddy.
I need to go down to Greywater Watch.
I'm going to get Howland so he can tell me all about Targaryens.
I already know about Jon. Emo Bran, what a douche. Sansa says, I wish Jon was here. And then creepy Bran looks at her and says, yes, I need to talk to him. I
need to tell him things.
I need to speak to him.
What kind of things do you need to tell him? You looked pretty in your white dress.
With Ygritte. Like, what if he's only... I mean, he's a teenage boy. He's only ever going to look at everyone boning, right?
Oh, my God.
Like, he's like, I know that Jon is a secret Targaryen, but I only care about him banging Ygritte.
Oh, my God. I saw you in a cave.
I think
my throner is raging.
Yeah, I think that's all my notes. I think we did all the scenes.
We did it. Yeah. All men.
Must.
Drink.
Couple of questions.
Yeah.
What do you expect for next episode? So Dany in the soon to come or whatever was like, a dragon. She's like, I'm done with all this piddling.
No more clever plans.
I'm gonna take my dragons and go fuck shit up.
She says no more clever plans, and then we see her riding on the back of a dragon. So, I'll finish your wine since you have to drive home.
I do.
Yeah, we see that. What else do we see? I don't even remember at this point. It's been 4 days since I've seen that episode, and I'm kind of a little wine drunk.
We're losing it, Dave.
We're losing it.
We're gonna have to rewatch the episode.
So what's coming next is I've had it with these clever plans. Yeah. She's on the back of a fucking dragon, and we think she's going to attack somewhere, right?
First of all, do you think that the White Dragon had a connection with Jon?
Yes. Well, I mean,
So does the Green Dragon get the bolt through the eye? What if somebody kills Drogon?
No one's killing Drogon.
We think, but what if? Okay, but let's not go there because there's no way to prove or like I didn't even know that Casterly Rock was out of money. So like what the fuck do I know?
And if Casterly Rock is out of money, where are they paying for all this fucking like?
This is why they're doing it all in credit.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And now they took over Tyrell's High Garden, so they're gonna have grain and resources, control the reach,
and all the power. I mean, now
can I just say that the Sand Snakes were the biggest disappointment of the entire show series?
They cut out
what a wet firework. What was the point of them?
They cut out. They completely botched the Dornish storyline
in a huge way.
The whole Dornish arc just basically got fucking slashed. And I think that was part of the whole, let's get rid of fake Aegon, let's get rid of John Connington, let's get rid of all that.
They've killed all the wolves.
Yeah, they killed all the wolves. It's just out. Dorne is out. And I think they needed to tie it in.
Even Bran doesn't have his wolf. I think Bran's wolf makes it to the end of the series.
They needed to tie in the Mountain becoming Sir Robert Strong.
Yeah.
And how his role fits really in the show, and in order to do that, they needed to keep Oberyn. Yeah. And in order to keep Oberyn, they had to keep the Tyrells and the Sand Snakes kind of active. I think otherwise they probably would have just cut them out almost completely.
Because they don't serve any purpose. Oh, there's our train.
There's the train. Yeah. I think on that note,
Yeah.
It's time to say goodnight.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. No, not yet. I wrote down a question. Dave.
Rustle through your papers.
Yeah. Will there be pain? No, I made sure of it. Good. Glug, glug, glug. So ice cold. So good. This is the note I want to leave us on to think about until the next episode. Because do you remember way back? I wondered why.
Are we going in our way back machine?
We don't have to, but you can if you want to do the sound effect.
I would like to.
Do it.
Way back.
It kind of sounds like a Doctor. Yeah, like Doctor Who.
I know. I think of it more of a cross between Doctor Who and Rick and Morty, which, by the way, you turned me on to Rick and Morty.
I love Rick and Morty. I haven't seen the second episode of the new season.
It's good.
I'm so excited.
It's good.
I got Kirsten super hooked on it, and she hates that she loves it, but she
Morty,
loves it.
no, you just need to go. Wubba-lubba-lub-dub.
Wubba-lubba-lub-dub. Oh, I love it. It's so great. So watch Rick and Morty. But Dragonsteel defeats the others. So here's the reason that Sam stole Heartsbane, something he would never do in the books because he is so terrified of his dad.
Yeah.
We know that Dragonsteel, right, like Valyrian steel swords, defeat the others. Mm-hmm. We expect that at the end of this series, the others are going to break through the wall and come, rushing through Westeros. Who has Dragonsteel? Who has Valyrian steel swords? Jon Snow has Longclaw.
Yep.
Sam now has Heartsbane that he stole from his dad. His dad would have hunted him the fuck down.
Yep.
There's no way Sam gets away with that sword. Jamie's got Widow's Wail.
Brienne has Oathbreaker.
That's Oathkeeper, not Breaker.
Yep, Oathkeeper.
I mean, what else do you expect from Sir Duncan the Tall's ancestor?
Yeah, I know, right?
Descendant.
I really hope one of the spin-offs is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms.
I think it would be good, but I wondered if it was too, rated G. They would have to really... I mean, there's a lot of violence in it,
The fucking first one is...
But he never kisses... He, kisses one girl one time, so there isn't any sex or nudity. And I feel like HBO
But they're smashing people's heads in with a fucking mace. I mean...
I would love to see Duncan.
Just that image in the book of what's his name,
Yep.
swinging that mace around and just clocking the guy in his head.
Magor, nope.
No, it wasn't Magor. It was
Aegon's dad.
Yeah.
What is his name? Maelys? Nope. Come on. We know this.
You know this.
Oh, I know this. It's
Stumpin'
Baelor Breakspear.
Tana.
Baelor Breakspear.
Some stay dry and others get poisoned.
I know this. Oh, God. Oh, and he makes such a good hand of the king. Goodness gracious. What is his name? And he has his little, beard and kind of talks here. What's his name? Oh, my God.
All right, enough of this.
All right. I'm going to think of it.
All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening.
Nerds and neckbeards.
Ladies and gentlemen, nerds and neckbeards. We'll see you next week.
I predict that Jon gets the White Dragon. Next week, I think he makes a connection. That's
next
what I
week?
think.
You think it's going to happen next week?
I think that while he's on Dragonstone, mining his dragon
Write it
glass,
on the whiteboard.
Okay.
All right. And we're going to talk about it next week.
Okay, what do we think
on our next episode?
So it's going to be Season 7, Episode 4.
It's going to be called...
Jon touches the White Dragon.
Inappropriately. Jon touches the White Dragon inappropriately. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Westeros Wheneverly.